Hi, Skip here again, another in the series that I'm doing. This series will end up at about 15 videos. They'll all be under 10 minutes or in that vicinity. The purpose here is to do an overshot, that high altitude view of the overview of what it takes to get into affiliate marketing and be effective and be there for the long term and actually make money. You may be aware that 96% of those who attempt tend to fail, and they tend to fail because of a lack of knowledge. Sometimes it's a lack of money, sometimes it's a lack of interest, it could be a lack of whatever, but they're not doing all the things necessary to get there. So the purpose of this is not necessarily the end-all in teaching you all the technical steps of what it takes to be successful, but it gives you an overview of what elements are going to be needed in the end result, so that when you build an online blueprint that is a success blueprint, these are all the elements that are ultimately considered in the process to make it work. So you've got a choice. You can either go online and experiment yourself. You can do everything on your own, or there is such a thing as taking tutorials. There's lots of approaches to this. At the end of this video, I'm going to give you a little more specific way of how you can go about covering all of these bases. But in the meantime, this particular video is where do you start? I've done what is affiliate marketing. How does it work? Various subjects. This one is where do you start in the process. So this is going to be a quick overview, and then I'm going to give you something a little bit more specific at the end, so hang in there for that. The first thing in where do you start is, I love this line by Stephen Covey, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. The phrase I took away from that book that meant the most was begin with the end in mind. You have to have a big picture. Anything you really want, anything you really want to achieve, you've got to be able to see it. You've got to be able to visualize it, understand it, know what it is you want as an end result. And so, where do you start with your end result? You really sit down and figure it out. Do the old mind map with a pencil and paper, do whatever you take to go through and really look at the big picture. And think outside the box a little bit. Don't look at it as, well, here I am and how far can I go in this particular stage of my life. Think beyond that. Think about, some people are in an hourly job, or they're in a salary position, or whatever their particular situation, and they think within the confines of that particular space. Well, think beyond that. What would you really want? If you had all the choices you want, and choice is a big deal. Ultimately, it's a matter of choice. But in those choices, what do you end up with? So in that big picture, start out with that bigger picture in mind. What is it I want? What lifestyle? If I could really have anything I wanted, what would that be? What's that big picture? And do you have to wait till you retire to get it? Not necessarily. It's possible to put something together and have something of substance. And if you're watching this right now, trust me, you're one of the lucky few that's going to get an idea of what it's going to take. And then if you take it to heart, and I do recommend, by the way, taking notes on this, because ultimately when you take a look at all of this, these are the elements that you will end up with to get you where you want to go. So believe in yourself, look at that bigger picture, don't limit yourself to your current space, look at what is the end result strategy that's going to get me where I want to go, okay? So then you establish the blueprint. Well, establishing the blueprint means that there's going to be a number of elements. Now, by the way, in this whole video series, we'll go down the breakdown on that blueprint to give you some idea of the various pieces that it's going to take to make that work. Again, this is not the detailed. I've got another step-by-step training that's available to you if you want it to see how you can get it all accomplished. This is the overview, okay? So that establishing a blueprint means how do you, what are the steps that you go through to have something online that is literally a platform on which you can build any size business you want. Okay, so establishing that blueprint, you got to start with a blueprint before you can build the building, right? So you have to have a blueprint to know where you're going. Website, form, and function. There's going to be a website involved in this. That form and function of the website has to fit that bigger view. So if you're thinking small and you're thinking in terms of things that you can totally grasp right now, you're probably thinking too small. You have to think in terms of the bigger picture of what you want. So that blueprint is going to be to build something that's going to be a long-term, stable end result for you, where you can really have the time and freedom that you really want, the economic freedom and the time to really do what you want in life and have choice. So that's what that website is going to be crucial in that. It's going to be your home. It's going to be your platform, your foundation, if you will. Landing pages, what are they? Landing pages, also known as funnels, capture pages. They are a step in a process to get you down a path. And it's one of the early contact points that you're going to have with customers as you build in affiliate marketing. As you build your business, you're going to have an initial contact place where you gather. And the landing page is that. Now, there are programs that can help you with that, so you don't have to create your own. ClickFunnels is a great example. They're the leader in the industry, and they can provide you templates and all that kind of thing that you can have proven formats in the area of landing pages or funnels, capture pages, that kind of thing. So that's something you definitely need to look at, and is going to be ultimately a part of what you do. URL masking and tracking. How do I say this? There's some programs that there's a lot of people involved in the program and they're all using the same base URL. Well, those can get black flagged in social media in a heartbeat. If there's too many of them, the algorithms look at it as spam. And so how do you customize your URLs so you'll have personal URLs for the business? And then using those to track, because if you don't track, you don't have data to show you where you're going right and where you're going wrong, and how to trim it and narrow it down to where what you do is going to be effective in your marketing and your advertising. So you have to have tracking for that. And custom URLs are it. ClickMagick is a great program for that purpose. But it's a place where you can create those unique individual URLs. Very important consideration. So many people overlook it, and they just become one of the masses. Autoresponder integration. Autoresponders are, you probably get emails from somebody. They get to be annoying after a while. You have certain sources that every day you get an email from that source. Well, you're using autoresponders to do that. Those letters you're receiving have been written months in advance. It's all programmed into an autoresponder, so it goes out automatically. Well, you can do that. You need to have an autoresponder. You don't have to send them out every day, and there's ways you can do this to be gentlemanly about it and to not be too intrusive. But the autoresponder plays a big role in it, because you can't sit down every day and put out all the information you need. But some careful planning ahead of time and set up your autoresponder so it does it for you. Now you have a 24/7 system that's operating without you having to have hands-on with every detail every day. Okay, I hope that makes sense. The other thing is product acquisition. There's other places I'll talk about this, but product acquisition is an important thing. You have to know what niche you're in the market. You have to know what your product is going to be within the niche, and then you have to know that product is going to be accessible. If it's if it's hard goods, case goods, there are products that are renewable every month. There's products that have to be shipped, warehoused. Myself, I prefer digital products because you don't have to worry about shipping, warehousing, and all those issues, or back orders, or any of that. But there's a lot of products you have to make sure that you're a reliable source. You're not going to run out or have major changes where all of a sudden you have inventory and you're stuck with that inventory. So you want to be very careful about that in your selection of product. Campaign, design, and launch. I'm going to give you one example, and there's lots of them, but if you advertise on Google or Bing, one of those, they have support people that will help you design a campaign. Now understand, those are technical support to work within their system of marketing and advertising so that you can at least get out there and be present. But what you have to bring to the task is an understanding of what makes a particular ad work. So then you get into split testing and evaluation and data and that kind of thing. This is where if you've got your right URLs for tracking, if you've got a popular product that's popular in a large trend or a wide market space, then you design it to fit that niche, and you understand keywords and long tail keyword phrases and all that. You get into all those kinds of things, but all that has to be contained in your campaigns. And so you design a campaign around your end result, what you want to accomplish. If it's conversions or just getting people to your website, what is it you're trying to accomplish? Campaign, design, and launch, big elements. So there's 8 steps to consider, and this is just, like I said, this is one of about, there'll probably be about 14 or 15 videos in this whole series. So what I want you to do is, keep track of this. By the way, depending on when you see this video, this is all going to be on my website in a affiliate marketing advantage. It'll all be on there, and you can go through, and there'll be other links. And ultimately, All these steps and all these things you need to be aware of are considered in the 4% Challenge. The 4% Challenge is a 30-session program. It takes you step by step, everything you need to learn. Now, I've asked this question. I've asked it on a lot of these videos. You'll hear me say it more than once. Where, I've asked people, if you had 6 months to a year to learn a system that would help you become financially free for the rest of your life, and have choice, would you spend that 6 months to a year learning, even if you had to learn it part-time with your current job or whatever, would you do it? Everybody says yes. It's a no-brainer if you knew that you could accomplish that. Well, the challenge is a format that can help you do exactly that. If you follow it, the people who fail are the people who quit. It's just that simple. But if you want a blueprint that takes all these different steps, all these elements into consideration, and hands it to you, so you say, okay, here's this, here's this, here's this. And by the way, this is really important. There's a concept called done for you, where companies will do everything for you. They set up your website and do all that kind of thing. And you just go in and pay your fees and whatnot, and away you go. Well, the fact is, those things come and go. And the problem is, when they go, you're stuck, because you don't know how to recreate or build what it is you've been working off of. That platform goes away, you're done. So what this whole thing is about is to become an independent entrepreneur with the foundational information you need to move forward, and it doesn't matter what happens with algorithms or changes in the industry, changes in trends. You can always be ahead of the curve and on top of it because you're in control. And that's a big deal. When you're in control and you have choice, and you can do it in a reasonable period of time and set yourself up in life, why not? It's a pretty good thing. So with that, I'm going to go to the next video. Keep track and don't give up. Don't give up on yourself because you're not yet where you want to be, because you have a vision of yourself always being an hourly employee working for somebody else or whatever. Don't let those things get in the way. Believe in yourself. Trust that you can do it. And you can. You want choice? Make a choice. Choose to win, because you can do it. So I'll be in touch with you again. Thank you, and God bless. I'll see you in the next video.